Good morning, everybody. This is Apba Brian and Apba Baseball Classics, and we have completed a series in the Super Series, Negro League champion against the Major League champion, and we're ready for the next series. We're going to take on the 1947 New York Yankees and the 1947 New York Cubans of the Negro Leagues, champions of the Negro Leagues. There's two ways to play. There is no published company card sets on the New York Cubans. I could make my own Apba cards on the New York Cubans, which I did. This is made on stevescompudeck.com, and you enter in the statistics and it'll spit out what their Apba cards would look like. Or B, we could use Deadball Baseball by W.M. Ackers, Deadball 1909 Dice Baseball. We would probably be more focused on the year 2 Deadball. That's this one. And I have made a decision we'll do the Deadball Baseball for this game today. I'm not comfortable using non-Apba cards that weren't produced by the company. I'm 50-50 on that. I'm interested in hearing from you what you think about that, and put that down in the comments whether you think it's ethical or not to make your own Apba cards and do it. Again, no game company makes the 1947 New York Cubans that I'm aware of. But first, a word on how to play Deadball 1909 Dice Baseball. The way to play Deadball Dice Baseball is first to go to a statistical baseball site like Baseball Reference or seamhead.coms. I go to seamhead.coms for the Negro League's statistics. And there you can find their stats for league competition. You write down on your scoring sheet a batter's target number. That's the first number, 26 on Sternweiss, and that is his batting average rounded off to the first two digits. And the second number is 36 for Sternweiss. That is his OBT or on-base target number. And any number 27 through 36 will be a walk. Actually, through 35 will be a walk. If you hit 36, that's a hit batter. And then if you roll a number over that using 100-sided dice, that's these RPG dice, which one of them is 10, and that's this dice right here. And you combine that with a 10-sided die. Let's see, that's this dice, of course, here, and you get a 100 number. So here I just rolled a 71, which will be an out. And then the type of out, that would be a strikeout. The type of out is read on the 10-sided dice. And zeros and ones are strikeouts. I think the book makes 2 strikeout, but home rules I make 2, like a pop-up or line drive out. And then a 10-sided, which is a 3 is a ground out to first, 4 second, 5 third, ground out to 6 shortstop, and 7, 8, 9s are flies out to left, right, and center field. So you include with those 2 10-sided dice a pitcher's die, and there is a table that goes by earned run averages and what die to use for the pitcher's die to add or subtract to the 100 roll. And in this case, Louis Tiant, if he's pitching for the Cubans, he would be rolling a 8-sided die. So I get an 8-sided die of a different color and add that to 71, which would be, I rolled a 2, be a 73. So it'd be still a ground out to, or still be a strikeout because you read the 10-sided die. But your final modified score, MSS, is 73 in that situation. If a batter gets a hit, then you go to a hit table, and that is this from the quick reference guide. You roll a 20-sided die to determine the type of hit, and that's, of course, this 20-sided die. I do ignore the defensive checks because I don't really have a way to rate the defensive players as it suggests. I mean, it's all subjective in the book. Now, if I'm playing something 1957 or later, I will rate defensive players. The ones who got gold gloves will be excellent defensive players. If they got a gold glove, and then maybe the year before it and the year after, I would put them down as a player, and then I would use a defense role. But pre-1957, it's just too subjective. I do have a way to include the defense, but first a word back to the hit tables. I have a home rule hit table for home runs, and that is this here. If a batter has, say, 12 home runs, 4 to 12 home runs, then the 20 on the hit table would be a home run. If a batter has 13 to 21 home runs, then 19 and 20 are homers on the hit type of hit roll. And if a batter has 22 to 30, then it's 18, 19, and 20. And add 8 more for 31 to 39, 17 to 20 are home runs, and 40 to 48, 16 to 20 are home runs. So that modification to the advanced hit table will be for like a juice baseball. Don't think you would need to do that if you're playing dead ball teams, as you would use the tables found in this book, Deadball 1909. Okay, Deadball is a fairly simple game that they have. The books are really outstanding, and it could be a whole hobby in itself because it has ways to rate players, giving them characteristics and teams. Deadball 2 gives you a 9-game pennant chase where you take a league and then their last 9 games of the season and play the pennant chase. There's lots of tables for optional rules. Pitcher fatigue, stealing baseball rules, and then how to incorporate slow and fast runners. I will incorporate fast runners. There are 4 of them on the New York Cubans: Diaz, Manoso, Garcia, and Cabrera. That's primarily for stealing options. The 47 Yankees didn't steal bases. There's nobody in the Yankees that stole 10 or more bases. They played station-to-station baseball. But I generally don't use those option rules. But I like this game. It's a fun, fast game. And that's all. Since there's no company that makes the 1947 Cubans, let's do Deadball for the 47 season. And I should include a word on how I'm going to do defense. The 1947 Yankees had a fielding percentage of it was between 978 and 985. So on all the dice rolls that are 5 numbers above the on-base target, we check for an error, and that is a roll of a 6-sided dice. And for the Yankees, a roll of 981 was the Yankees' fielding percentage, so a roll of 5 or 6 on the 6-sided dice will be an error, and then 981 was the Yankees' fielding percentage. I'll get that right in a minute. 970 was the Cubans' defensive abilities, and so a roll of 4 through 6 will be errors on the New York Cubans. All right, the Yankees in this game will be using the gray dice. The New York Cubans will be using the orange dice. And here are the starting lineups for the Yankees. We have Sternweiss, Rizzuto, DiMaggio, McQuinn's at first base, Heinrich, right field, Johnson, third base, Lindell, left field, Robinson, that's Aaron Robinson's the catcher, and Ollie Reynolds is the pitcher. Louis Tiant is on the mound for the New York Cubans. He was their pitching ace, and yes, he is the dad of Louis Tiant of Cleveland Indian and Boston Red Sox fame. Fernando Diaz leads off for the Cubans. Cleveland Clark is in left field. Manny Minoso is at third base. Silvio Garcia is a shortstop. Lorenzo Cabrera, first base. Duane is a right fielder. Lou Loudon's a catcher. Ted Page is in center field. And Louis E. Tiant is the pitcher. His son was Louis Clemente Tiant. Louis Tiant Sr. was born in, he started playing in 1926, but he played sparingly, 26 or 28 for the first 4 years or so, and then he became a full-time pitcher. He pitched in the Negro Leagues in the United States. He pitched in Cuba. He pitched in other Latin countries as well. He was the pitching star. He was known as Sir Skinny. He was about Louis Tiant Jr.'s height, but he was nowhere near his weight. He was a skinny guy. They both had identical deliveries. Tiant Jr. patterned himself after Senior. Both had very deceptive deliveries. Louis Tiant, for most of his career, was a power pitcher. And here we go. Steffi Snornoy steps into the box for the Yankees. The first roll of the game is a 82, 84 plus the pitcher die. It's going to be a ground ball to second base. That's the first out of this first game of the Super Series between the New York Cubans and the New York Yankees. Next batter is Phil Rizzuto, the shortstop, the scooter. That is a roll of 8, and that's going to be a base hit. So we'll roll a 20-sided die to determine the type of hit. That's a 6. That's a single. Ground ball past the shortstop. Rizzuto is on first. So I'm not going to do a straight steal here, but we could hit and run. And that next batter is Joe DiMaggio, but we're not going to hit and run with DiMaggio. Here's the pitch to the Yankee Clipper. 1 out, 1 on. 54 is a ground ball to second base. It's a slow roller, and Rizzuto goes to second. There's 2 outs. A roll of 50 to 70 would be a fielder's choice on ground balls with a runner on first. A roll of 70 or greater would be a double play. That brings up the cleanup hitter, George McQuinn, first baseman. Batter's target number is 30, and on base is 40. And the roll is a 24, plus the 8 is a 32. That's going to be a base on balls. McQuinn takes first. The Yankees have first and second with 2 outs. And Tommy Heinrich, the right fielder, old reliable, steps up to the plate. His target is 29, and walk is through 36, with 37 being a hit by pitch number. Heinrich had 16 home runs in 1947. Here's the pitch. 50 is the roll, and that is too high. That's over all those numbers, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Yankees are out in the first. No score. Cubans coming to bat. On the mound for the New York Yankees is Ollie Reynolds. He won 19 games for the 47 Yankees, 3.20 earned run average. He will be using a 4-sided dice to add to the 100 number. And again, the Cubans are the orange dice. Yankees are the gray dice. And batting first for the New York Cubans is the second baseman, Fernando Diaz. a fast runner with a target of 29. The roll is 51. That's a fly ball to center field. One away. Cleveland Clark, the left fielder, bats next. His target is 26 for a base hit. We rolled a 34, and that is a hit batter. 34 is the OBT, or on-base target number. Just like in Apba, we're going to roll 2 six-sided dice to see if there's going to be any hard feelings. And they did not come up double, so there's no brawl. And Cleveland Clark takes first base. That brings up Minnie Minoso. He was the star of the New York Cubans. His target number is 36, and OBT is 41. He was an outfielder in the major leagues, but for the New York Cubans, he played third base. Here's the pitch to Minnie Minoso. That is a roll of 60, and a fly ball to left field, caught by Johnny Lindell. 2 outs. That brings up Lorenzo Cabrera, or no, excuse me, Silvio Garcia, the shortstop. .38 is a base on balls to Garcia. Both teams bring patient hitting styles to the plate. Now, first baseman Lorenzo Garcia has some power for the Cubans. He hit in 39 games. He had 4 home runs, stretched out over a full major league season. That would be 12 homers. Here's, or actually it'd be 16 home runs. Here would be a pitch to Cabrera. 25 is a hit. We'll roll the hit die to see what type of hit it is. And 11 is a single 2-base advance. So the Cubans score on the RBI single by Lorenzo Cabrera. Clark crosses the plate, and Garcia goes to third. 1-0 New York Cubans. That brings up Claro Dueñas, the right fielder. He is a batter target of 32 and 41, the OBT. Here's the stretch and the pitch by Ollie Reynolds. 72 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. But the Cubans score in the first. We go to the top of the second, 1-0 New York Cubans. Due up for the Yankees are Billy Johnson, Johnny Lindell, and Aaron Robinson. And Louis Tiant is ready. He goes into his windup, and here's the pitch. 12. That's going to be a base hit. Single for Billy Johnson. Here's Johnny Lindell. Batter target is 28 and 32 on base target. 30 is a base on balls. So early trouble for Louis Tiant. Yankees have the first 2 men on. Here is the 8th place hitter, catcher Aaron Robinson. 61 is a ground ball to second base. That's going to be a fielder's choice. Johnson goes to third. Yanks have first and third, and the pitcher's due up. Ollie Reynolds, his batter target is 15, and on base is 21. All right, this is the bunt table in Deadball 1909. And Ollie Reynolds is going to try to lay one down. Here's the roll. It's a 5. So the lead runner on third is going to be out and the batter is safe. So we'll have to call that a safety squeeze. So let's see, Johnson's out. Robinson goes to second, and Ali Reynolds is at first. There's 2 outs. Here is the top of the order, and Snuffy Sternrice with 2 outs, and nobody has scored yet for the Yankees. Here's the pitch. 97 is a fly ball to left field. That'll end the top of the second inning. No score for the Yankees. It's 1-0 New York Cubans. Leading off for the Cubans is Lou Loudon, the catcher. He's a batter target is 27 and 33, so on base. Here's the rolls. 80 is a fly ball to left field. 1 out, and now Ted Page is the center fielder. Targets are 24 and 33. Okay, I can't see the 4-sided die. That's a 4, so 51. That will be a fly out to left field, taken by Johnny Lundell. So 2 skies to the left, 2 outs. Here's the pitcher, Louis Tiant. Batter target is 07 and 13 is on base. He rolls a 7, so Louis Tiant gets a hit. Let's see what kind of a hit it is. 13 is a double for Louis Tiant, the pitcher. We go to the top of the order with 2 outs, and Fernando Diaz steps into the box. 67 is a ground ball to first base. 3 outs. We go to the top of the third. Cubans 1, Yankees nothing. All right, Louis Tiant returns to the mound. Back in the late 50s, when the Cuban Revolution took place, Louis Tiant called his son and cautioned him not to come back to Cuba because he didn't know what was going to happen. And so he didn't. So Louis Tiant got stuck on the island, and 14 years passed before senior and junior could see each other. But of course, in the 1975 season, you might recall that through diplomatic services, Louis E. Tiant, that's the father, got to see his son pitch, and he'd seen his son pitch on TV and heard some games on the radio. But he had not seen him pitch in person in the major leagues, so he got to see Louis Tiant Jr. pitch. He stayed. They extended his stayed into 1976, but he had a heart attack in 76, and just before he passed away, Louis Tiant Jr. and Louis Tiant wife was sitting in the hospital room with Senior, and Louis Tiant Jr. overheard Tiant Senior asked, "Well, it's time for me to go. Are you coming with me or not?" And she said yes. And it turns out that she had a heart attack, the mom, 2 days later, and then joined Louis Tiant Sr. in the next world. Here's the pitch to Phil Rizzuto, the scooter leading off for the Yankees. That is a 7, and that's going to be a base hit. Type of single is a 9, and that's a single for the scooter Phil Rizzuto. He is 2 for 2. Here's the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio. His target is 32, and on-base target is 39. And he rolls a 4. That's going to be a hit. And 7 is a one-base single. Rizzuto goes to second. DiMaggio's at first. Here is George McQuinn, the first baseman. No outs. McQuinn rolls a 43. That's above his on-base target and is going to be a swing and a miss for a strikeout based on the 1. Pitchers with exceptionally high strikeout numbers, 0, 1, and 2 would be strikeouts in those cases, and maybe even up to 3. Or pitchers who don't strike anybody out, just 0 would be a strikeout. Here is Tommy Heinrich. He rolls a 78. That's a fly ball to left field. Or no, excuse me, that'd be the 1. That'd be the 1 die. It's a strikeout. 2 outs. And it's going to be up to Billy Johnson to see whether or not the Yankees are going to squander this opportunity. His target numbers are 29 and 35 is the on base number. Here's the pitch to Billy Johnson. He rolls a 3. That's going to be a hit, and it might produce something. Let's see. 4 is a 1-base single. Bases loaded. Louis Tiant Sr. is in a heap of trouble. Johnny Lundell steps up to the plate. He is a 28 target, 32 on-base target. Can Johnny Lundell put a quarter in the merry-go-round? Here's the pitch. 53 is above those targets, and it's going to be a line drive to third base for the 3rd out. On the 2, it's either a pop-up or line out. On an odd number from the pitcher dice, I make it a pop-up. Even numbers, I make a line out, and then I go to the first number on the 100-sided die to determine the direction. So the Yankees lead, the base is loaded. We go to the top of the 3rd. The New York Cubans 1 and the New York Yankees nothing. Cleveland Clark will lead off the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Cubans. By the way, he was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, and the umpires warned Ali Reynolds if he hits another batter, he will be ejected. Here's the pitch to Cleveland Clark. 57 is going to be a ground ball hit to the shortstop. The Scooter is up with it, throws the first. 1 down. Now Minnie Minoso, man who played in several different decades. 23 will be under his target number. That's going to be a hit for Minoso. And 13 is going to be a 2-base hit for Minnie. A double. 1 out. Minoso's at second. Silvio Garcia comes to bat. He was an outstanding shortstop in the Negro Leagues, and he was on the Dodgers' radar as early as 1942. They went to interview him in 1945. Branch Rickey interviewed Garcia to evaluate him, much like he interviewed Jackie Robinson. And when Rickey asked Garcia, what would you do if a player spit on him? Garcia replied, I'd kill him. That direct and honest answer ended the idea of bringing Silvio Garcia to the major leagues. Here is the pitch to Garcia. He rolls an 8. That's going to be a hit. Let's see what type of hit. And that is a 16. That's a double with a 3-runner advance, but that's a play enough for Minoso to score. Garcia drives in the Cubans' second run. It is New York 2, Cubans 2, and the Yankees nothing. Here is Lorenzo Cabrera, the first baseman. 53 is that's a 2. It's going to be a pop out to third. 2 outs. Here is Claro Duany. 32 is his target. 41 is the on-base target. Here's the roll. 97 is a ground ball to third base, taken by Billy Johnson to throw across the diamond. 3 outs, but the Cubans get a run on 2 doubles. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Cubans 2 and the Yankees nothing. Leading off for the Yankees is Aaron Robinson. We're at the 8th place hitter in the lineup. Once again, we're using for the pitcher's die and 8, and that table, I didn't show that table when we talked about the game, but that table's right here. Tiant was below 3 on his ERA, so he's using a D8, and you add that number. Here's the pitch to Aaron Robinson. That is a 67. That's going to be a fly ball to right field. 1 away. Here's the pitcher, Reynolds. .35 is a fly ball to left field. 2 outs. Top of the order, and Snuffy Sternwise. Very patient hitter. He's got 10 numbers above his batting average, so he could get on. 24, and that will be a single. We'll roll the 20-sided dice. That's a 10. That's a base hit. 1 base. Yankees have had base runners on every inning, but they've not been able to get the clutch hit they need to score. Here is the second place hitter, Phil Rizzuto, and he is 2 for 2 in the game. Here's the pitch to Rizzuto. 39 is above the on-base target. That's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop, Silvio Garcia, the throw to first. That ends the top of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Cubans 2, Yankees nothing. Now, on the New York Cuban statistics, we have only a quarter of a season where they played league games. Most Negro League teams played most of their season in barnstorming games against semi-pros. Their statistics are not going to be included in the inclusion of the major leagues. Only the games that they play against other league teams will be included in the current major league totals. So 1 quarter of a season, so I multiply their home runs to come up with the correct home run rule on the hit die. So we multiply their total by 4, and they didn't hit a lot of home runs in New York Cubans. Cabrera had 4, that would be like a 16. Garcia had 3, that'd be like 12. Minoso and Duane had 2, that'd be like 8 home runs, and just 1 die, or just 1 number on the home run on the hit die. All right, here we go with the bottom of the 4th inning. Lou Loudon, the catcher, steps in the box. Here's the roll. 74 is a ground ball to first base. McQuinn flips to Reynolds. 1 down. That brings up the center fielder, Ted Page. Base hit number is 24. On base number is 33. 88. That's going to be a ground out to the scooter, Phil Rizzuto. 2 outs. And now Louis Tiant, poor hitter, 070 hitter, but he hit a double in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch to Tiant, and that's a 47, a ground ball to third base. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the top of the 5th inning, Cubans 2 and the Yankees nothing. All right, in the 5th, we have Joe DiMaggio, George McQuinn, and Tommy Heinrich, the very middle of the Yankee order. I'm been doing a 7-game series. I'm thinking about reducing the series to just best of 3 because I want to play all the years. If we do 7-game series for all the years, we'll be doing this project for probably half a year, and I think we'll just do best of 3 series. That way we can get through more seasons. Here is DiMaggio. Pitch to DiMaggio is a 68. That's a line drive to the shortstop, Garcia. 1 down. Here's George McQuinn. McQuinn has walked and struck out. His target number is 30 for a hit, and he rolls a 93. That's a pop-up to shallow right field. 2 outs. Tommy Heinrich. 53 is a strikeout. And Heinrich has struck out all 3 times. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Cubans 2, Yankees nothing. Top of the order, and Fernando Diaz leads off for the Cubans. Most of these Cubans were Cuban players, by the way. The home field was in New York, but most of them are Cubans. Diaz, the pitcher, was from Havana. Another pitcher from Havana. Another pitcher, Martin Crew, was from Alabama. Dave Barnhill was from North Carolina. But Diaz was from Mariano, Cuba. Minoso was from Puerto Rico, Cuba. Cleveland Clark was Victorias de las Tunas, Cuba. Luminar, Cuba, was the home of Silvio Garcia. Cienfuegos, Cuba, was Cabrera's home. Cabrera, Cuba, was Duane's home. The catcher was from Virginia. And center fielder was from Matanzas, Cuba. So most of them, more than 2/3, were actually from Cuba. Here is the roll for Fernando Diaz. He rolls a 34. That's a base on balls for Diaz. All right, the walk to Diaz. Diaz has speed. And if he wants to try to steal, that would be an 8-sided dice. Let's see. Here's the steal table for the game. 1 to 3, the runner is out. 4 to 8, the runner is safe. Home rules, I adjust that. If it's like a stealing plus guy, I make a 1 to 2 out and 3 to 8 safe. And stealing plus, I assign that to somebody who stole more than 30 bases over the season. But Fernando Diaz is going to go try to avoid that double play. He goes and he's safe. Stolen base for Fernando Diaz. Scoring position now for Minnie Minoso. 42 is the roll. That's above his target by 1. Okay, so we're going to check for an error. Should talk about that. And that's a 6-sided dice. That's this table here. And the roll is 5. So that's going to be a 1-base error. Let's roll a 10-sided dice to decide who that error is going to be on. Get a position here for error on second base. 1-base error. First and third Cubans with nobody out. That brings up Silvio Garcia, 335 hitter with a little bit of power and speed. Or rather, not Garcia. Let's see, that's Cleveland Clark that the error was against. Minnie Minoso is the batter. Garcia's on deck. Here's the pitch to Garcia. 72 is going to be a fly ball to right field. And that is not going to be deep enough to score the run. When you roll these dice, that's called swing result table. And I don't use the critical hits, again, because I don't have the defensive players individually rated. So outs that are between +6 to 70 are productive outs, 71 above, which I make 70 and above. Like rolls into a double play if there's a runner on first and ground ball, but a productive out, a fly ball that's below 70 would be a productive out and would score that runner, but it is above 70, so it's 1 out. Runner still at the corners. Here is Silvio Garcia. Reynolds goes into the stretch. Here's the pitch. New York hoping for a double play. 93 is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 outs. Now it's Lorenzo Cabrera. 2 outs. We'll see if the Cubans get anything out of this threat. 83 is going to be another strikeout. So Allie Reynolds comes up huge in the 5th inning. When the Cubans get runners on the corners with no outs, they still don't score. We go to the 6th, 2-0 Cubans. All right, Billy Johnson leads off. His targets are 29 for a hit, 35 for on base. Here's the pitch from Louis Tiant. 44 is a line drive to first base caught by Lorenzo Cabrera, 1 away. Johnny Lindell, his target's 28 and 32. 32 is a hit batter. Warning goes to Tiant. So now each pitcher has been warned. Roll for doubles to see if there's going to be a brawl. There's no doubles. Yankees have Lindell at first base, and the batter is the catcher, Aaron Robinson. 24, that's going to be a base hit for the catcher, Robinson. And 17 is a run-scoring double, and the Yankees get on the board. It's now Cubans 2, Yankees 1. Here's the pitcher, Allie Reynolds. 1 out, 1 on second. 37. Line drive to first base. 2 outs. Snuffy Sternweiss. And 55 is a line drive to third base. 3 outs. But the Yankees get on the board. They go to the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-1 Cubans. Correction, bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Cubans. All right, the New York Cubans come to bat. Their lead is now a slim 1-run advantage. They were Negro League World Champions. They played in the Negro National League, and they defeated the Cleveland Buckeyes, the champions of the Negro American League, 4-1 with 1 tie. 1 game was rained out after 6 innings, and that was tied. They played their games in the Negro League World Series in different stadiums. One was played at the Polo Grounds, one was played at Yankee Stadium, one at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. Game 4 was at Shibe Park in Philadelphia. Game 5 was in Chicago in Comiskey Park. And Game 6 was in Cleveland League Park of that 1947 Negro League World Series. Claro Duaney leads off the bottom of the 6th inning for the Cubans. Here's the pitch from Allie Reynolds. 41 is a hit batter, and that's trouble. Reynolds felt he had to retaliate, but he has already been warned. And let's see if there's a brawl. First of all, there's not a brawl, but the Yankees, Allie Reynolds is ejected from the game. We'll have to get a new pitcher for New York. And a new pitcher for the Yankees is Bobo Newsom. He was 7-5 in 1947 with a 2.80 earned run average. That means he'll be rolling a 8-sided die and adding it to the total. Here is the catcher, Lou Loudon. .52 is a line drive to third base. 1 down. Ted Page is the center fielder. That's a 4. That's going to be a hit for Ted Page's. See what kind of a hit. 16 is going to be a double with a 3-base advance. So a run-scoring double makes it 3-1 Cubans. All right, Louis Tiant's going to try to bunt. That is a 6-sided die. And the roll is a 6. That's not good. Once again, the lead runner is out. Let's see the direction. 3-6, or 3-5. Tee outs the runner at first with 2 outs. Here's top of the order, Fernando Diaz. 84 is the roll. That's going to be a fly ball to the left field. That ends the inning, but the Cubans add 1, and the score is New York Cubans 3, Yankees 1. All right, we go to the top of the 7th inning, and I use my old Apba rules just for sanity. My home rules for Apba is starting pitchers in the 7th inning can reach their point of fatigue. 3 bad things happen. Their level will go down a grade. This is the 7th inning, so it's a fatigue inning for Louis Tiant. Batting first for the Yankees is Phil Rizzuto, having a good day. He's 2 for 3 in today's game. He rolls a 42. That's over his target numbers. And a fly ball to right field, caught by Claro Dueñas, 1 down. Here's Joe DiMaggio. 68 is a ground ball to second base. Fernando Diaz throws the first, 2 outs. George McQuinn, the first baseman. McQuinn was a longtime Yankee and St. Louis Brown player. Played on the Browns championship team during the war years. That is a base hit for McQuinn. Let's see what kind of hit. That's a single. 2 outs, and Tommy Henry comes to bat so far, having a horrendous day. He struck out 3 times. Let's see if he can turn that around with something here. Here's the pitch to Tommy Heinrich. That's a 10. That's going to be a hit. Roll the 20-sided dice. And that is a double 2-base advance. Second and third for the Yankees with 2 outs. So Heinrich's day indeed gets better. That's 2 bad things to happen to Tiant. So 1 more, he will be fatigued and his pitch grade will go down a level, meaning that the 8-sided die will become a 4-sided die. All right, here is Billy Johnson. Here's the pitch to Johnson. He rolls a 9. That'll be a hit. Here's the 20-sided dice, and that's a long drive to the gap by Billy Johnson. It's off the top of the wall. Let's see how many bases that's going to be. It's a triple by Billy Johnson, scoring McQuinn and scoring Heinrich 2 RBIs, and the game is tied 3-3. So that means Tiant's grade will go down 1 level. So now we'll start using the orange 4-sided die. Runner on third, 2 outs, and Johnny Lindell comes to bat. Lindell is 0 for 1, but he's been on base twice, walked, and been hit by a pitch. 69 is a fly out to left field. 3 outs, but we got a brand new ball game. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Yankees 3 and the Cubans 3. The Cubans will have Cleveland Clark, Minnie Minoso, and Silvio Garcia in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ali Reynolds is still on the mound for not Ali Reynolds, Bobo Newsom is still on the mound for the Yankees. He's using the 8-sided dice. Here's the pitch to Cleveland Clark. That's going to be a base hit. Single. Clark is not one of the fast runners, but Minnie Minoso is coming to bat. He is. Here's the pitch to Minoso. 39. That will be a base on balls. Cubans come back with runners on first and second and nobody out, after the Yankees scored 2 to tie the game. In the top of the inning, here is their best hitter, Silvio Garcia. 335 hitter, on base percentage was 40. So 34 and 40 are his target numbers. Here's the pitch from Bobo Newsom. 49 is going to be a ground ball to third base. Or excuse me, ground ball to first base. McQuinn steps on first, and the runners advance one base. Here is Lorenzo Cabrera. 50 is a pop-up a mile high on the infield to second base. 2 outs, and once again, I take that as 1s and 2s for me, are lineouts or pop-outs. And that's the fielder 4, and that's, if it's even number, it's a pop-up, odd number, it's a lineout. 2 outs, and now Carl Dewaney, 0 for 2. 89 is a strikeout. So they leave him at second and third. We go to the top of the 8th, 3-3 tie. Tion is still pitching for the Cubans. He is fatigued, though, and using a 4-sided die. Aaron Robinson leads off the 8th for the Yankees. That's a 9. That's a base hit, and that is a double for Aaron Robinson. A double to right field. Yankees are threatening with no outs in the 8th. We've not had much luck bunting, but that's what we're going to do. The pitcher, Bobo Newsom, is up at the plate, and we're going to grab a 6-sided dice and try to bunt again. He rolls a 5, and a 5 on the bunt is lead runner out at first or second. Lead runner at first or second. Lead runner advances, batter out. Okay, so that's a successful sacrifice. Roll again for the direction, kind of like in Fall Classic. 2 is the catcher. So 2-4. Score it and move Robinson to third base. There's 1 out. Top of the order, and Phil Rizzuto. The Scooter is 2 for 4 in today's game. $50, that's going to be a fly ball to center field, and that is a productive out. So Robinson will tag and score. RBI for, not the Scooter, Sternweiss. This is Sternweiss batting, top of the order. Yankees 4-3. But now 2 outs, and now the Scooter comes to bat. And that is a roll of 8. It's going to be another hit for Rizzuto. Single. And here is Joe DiMaggio. DiMaggio is 1 for 3. 43. 39 is his on-base target. That's going to be an out, and it's a strikeout for DiMaggio. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees 4 and the Cubans 3. Lou Loudon will step in for the New York Cubans. They're now down by a run. 39 for Loudon is an out, but we're going to check for an error. A roll of 5 or 6 will be an error, and it's a error on the first baseman, George McQuinn. 1 base error. All right, here's Ted Pages. .69, ground ball to second base. Not quite to the double play range. There's the throw to shortstop covering second. Loudon is out, but a fielder's choice. Pages is at first, 1 down. Be a pitch hitter for the pitcher, Louis Tiant. All right, pitch hitting for the Cubans is Ray Noble. His batter's target is 28, and his on-base target is 32. He had some time in the white major leagues with the New York Giants. Here's the pitch to Ray Noble. That's a 4, and it's going to be a hit. Let's roll the 20-sided die. For Noble, that's a 13, a double to left field. Two-base advance for Pages. Second and third for the Cubans with one out. Top of the order. Loosening in the Cubans bullpen is Dave Barnhill. He'll pitch the ninth inning for the Cubans. Here is Fernando Diaz, 0 for 3 today. He has walked and stolen a base. The pitch from Bobo Newsom. 85 is a out. A line drive to shallow center field, not deep enough to score the runner. 2 outs. And now Cleveland Clark. 96 is going to be a ground out to the first baseman. 3-1, score it. That ends the inning. Cubans don't score through it all, and we go to the top of the ninth. The Yankees 4 and the Cubans 3. All right, Dave Barnhill comes on to pitch for the New York Cubans. He's a strikeout pitcher, so his strikeouts will be 0, 1, and 2. And he had a very good earned run average of 1.54. That is a 12-sided die added to the 100 roll. All right, here is George McQuinn leading off the top of the ninth inning for New York. They're up by a run. Here's the pitch to the Yankee first baseman. 27 is going to be a base hit. His batter's target was 30. The hit is it's a drive. It might be, it could be, no it's not. It's off the very top of the wall. It's going to be a triple for George McQuinn. He had 13 home runs, which translates to 13 and 21, 19 and 20 would be home runs on the hit table. This is the hit table. So it turns that hit into a triple. Or the 18 was what he rolled. That's a triple. So nobody out. Yankees have a man on third. And rude greeting for the new pitcher, Dave Barnhill. Tommy Heinrich comes to bat, 1 for 4 with a double and 3 strikeouts. Here's the pitch to Old Reliable. That is a hit of some sort. Let's see what it is. 16, that's another double for the Yankees right fielder. Drives in a run. Yankees 5 and the Cubans 3. Billy Johnson, the third baseman. 60-70, that's going to be a ground ball to second base. Fernando's play is at first base, and the base runner goes to third, 1 down. Johnny Lundell. 63 is a strikeout. Billy Robinson. That's a 31. Or, excuse me. Yeah, 31. Ground out to first. 31 will be a base on balls. So his targets were 27, on base is 37. Billy Johnson takes first. We got runners on the corners with 2 outs. And here is the pitcher, Bobo Newsom. Maybe. There'll be a pitch hitter. The Yankees are going to send up young Yogi Berra. His batter targets are 28 and on base is 31. Here's the pitch. That's a 23. And that'll be a base hit for Yogi Berra. And 19, He had 11 home runs, so that's going to be a triple for Yogi. So 2-run score. And it's 7-3 New York. Bobo Newsom would have been an easy out. Now, Yogi Berra had 11 home runs and 300 at-bats. If he had under 300 at-bats, I would multiply his home runs by 2 to go to the home run chart, but he had over 300 at-bats. Top of the order, and Snuffy Sternrice. And I would say the horse is just about out of the barn for the New York Cubans in this game. Played 2 practice games last week with Deadball, and the Cubans won both of those games 5-1 and 5-2. But they're in trouble today. 50-64 is going to be a fly out to left field by Sternweiss. That ends the inning, but the Yankees scored 3 times, and they take a 7-3 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning. The new pitcher for the Yankees will be Joe Page. He is their closer at 17 saves in 141 innings, 2.48 ERA, and 14-8 was his pitching record. Minnie Minoso leads off for the Cubans, down by 4 runs. And that's a hit for Minoso. 14's a double. Second double in the game for Minnie Minoso. Cubans need base runners. Here is Silvio Garcia. 32. That's going to be a hit for Garcia. His target number was 34. Let's see what kind of hit that is. That is a one-base single. First and third for the Cubans, and Joe Page is in trouble right off the bat. Lorenzo Cabrera has some power. Here's the pitch to Cabrera. 28. Base hit for Cabrera. 30 was his target. And that is a single, one base. Hard hit ball on the ground through the hole to center field. Run scores. And Garcia goes to second base. 7-4. And that means the potential tying run comes to bat in Claro Duaney. His target is 32, and on base is 41. Here's the pitch to Duaney. Oops, I have the wrong dice. Joe Page makes the next pitch. It's a 46, ground ball to third base. That's 5 above the on-base target, so we have to check for an error. 5 or 6 will be an error, and that is an error on the third baseman, one base error. Bases are loaded. Now the potential tying run is at first. There'll be a pitching change for the Yankees. That'll be Don Johnson. He is 4-3 in 1947. 3.64 earned run average. So that's the 4-sided die to add to the hundreds. The batter for the Yankees is Lou Loudon. .22. That's going to be a base hit for Loudon. See what type of hit that is. That's a 10. Single, 2 runners, 2 base advance. So that's 2 RBIs. Garcia scores, Cabrera scores, and Duaney goes to third. First and third, 7-6. Cubans are catching up. Still no outs. Those runs are charged to Joe Page. And Ted Page is the center fielder for the Cubans, is due to bat. He's the 8th place hitter. His targets are 24 and 33. It's followed by the pitcher, which will probably bring on a pitch hitter. They're going to go ahead and pitch to Ted Pages. All right, since we're not using exactly defense rules for deadball baseball, we don't have an infield in rule, so we're going to play first and third, hope for a double play. Infield normal depth or double play depth. Here's a pitch to Pages. That's a 23, and that's just under his batter target number, so it's a hit for Ted Pages. And the roll is a single, one base. That's an RBI single, and the Cubans have tied the score 7-7 with one out in the ninth inning. Here is a pitch hitter for New York. All right, Martinez is a 22, batter target, 31 on base target. First and second. No outs. This inning started with a double, then two singles, an error, and then two more singles. Here is Rabbit Martinez. That's a 54. That will be a 2 is going to be a line drive to third base. One out. Top of the order, and Fernando Diaz, 0 for 4 today. Here's the pitch to Fernando Diaz. 60, that's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. That's a fielder's choice ground out. So the Pages is out at second. Diaz, the fast runner, is at first. And Lou Loudon goes to third. But now there's two outs. And the ninth batter in the inning is Cleveland Clark. He rolls a 1-0-1. A fly out to center field. We go to extra innings. Yankees 7 and the Cubans 7. New pitcher for the Cubans is Barney Morris. He was 2-5 with an ERA of 3.55. Now on the pitch table, we use a four-sided die, 3.55, but we subtract from the numbers. It's going to make it a little easier to get hits for the Yankees. Phil Rizzuto, who's 3 out of 5, leads off for the Yankees. Okay, so we subtract the 2 from the one that's 51. That's going to be a ground ball to first base. One out. Joe DiMaggio. DiMaggio's targets are 32 and 39. That's a 25. We're subtracting now the 1 from the 6 at 25. That's going to be a base hit for DiMaggio. And Joe D hits a double. 19 and 20 would be home runs. He had 20 home runs in 47, so it's a double. Here's the cleanup hitter, George McQuinn. All right, Barney Morris goes into the stretch. Here's the pitch. 25, that's going to be a hit for McQuinn. One base single. McQuinn's 3 for 5. Yankees at first and second. Here's Tommy Heinrich. Struck out first 3 times up, but now since then he has 2 doubles. 33, that will be above his batter's target, and it's also above the walk number, but it's not above the error number. We have to roll for an error, and that is a 2-base error. Let's see, by the center fielder. Scores DiMaggio, and it's now 8-7. Runners on second and third. Unearned run. Here is Billy Johnson, the third baseman. That's a 24. That's going to be a hit. 29 is his batter's target. And that's a drive. It might be, it could be, it is out of here. A 3-run home run by the Yankee third baseman, Billy Johnson, makes the score Yankees 11 and the New York Cubans 7. That's a commanding lead. For extra innings, here is Johnny Lindell. That's a 9. That's going to be a hit for Lindell. 7, single. Timeout. New pitcher for the Cubans will be Marty Crew. He was 2-2 with a 3.00 earned run average. That means he'll be using the 8-sided dice, and it will be added to the numbers. No outs, man on first. There is one out. First batter rolled out to first base. So there's one out, and the batter is catcher Aaron Robinson, 2 for 4 on the day. 56 is a ground ball to second base. That is below the double play number. That it's a fielder's choice. So Lindell's out at second, 2 outs, and now the pitcher bats. He'll stay in the game. That is Johnson. This is Don Johnson, not the third baseman, Billy Johnson. Here's the pitch to Don Johnson, and that is a 9. His target was 0, and his on base was 7. So that's an out. Line out to the pitcher. 3 outs. Yankees score 4 times in the top of the 10th inning. 3 of them were earned. 1 was unearned. We're at the bottom of the 10th. Yankees 11 and the New York Cubans 7. All right, Don Johnson returns to the mound for the New York Yankees. He's a D4 added to the hundreds roll. And Minnie Minoso leads off for the New York Cubans. The Cubans scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th to keep this game going. They're going to need 4 runs in this inning to keep the game going. 27. That's going to be a hit for Minoso. Single. It's Silvio Garcia's turn to bat. Garcia is 2 for 4. 55 is a line drive to third. 1 out. Lorenzo Cabrera, the first baseman. 40 is hit better. There's been a few of those in this game. We'll roll the 2 6-sided dice, see if there's a ball. There's not. Cabrera takes first. Runners on first and second. I shouldn't have rolled for a ball. That would not be on purpose with the runner on. Here's Carl Dewaney. 1 out, 2 on. Dewaney's batting targets are 32 and 41, the on-base target. And the roll is a 44. That could be an error. It's not. That is no, it couldn't. That's not going to be an error because the 1 would be a strikeout. So 2 outs. And now Lou Loudon, last hope for the Cubans. That is a 7. That's going to be a hit for Lou Loudon. Roll is a single, 1 base. Cubans playing it safe, 4 runs down, but they do get the potential tying run to the plate. That is the center fielder, Ted Pages. Pages' batting targets are 24 and 33 is the on-base one. He rolls a 5. That's a hit for Pages. And 14 is going to be a 2-base double, 2-base advance for the base runners. Makes it 11-9 in this slugfest. Second and third. Pitcher Crew is going to hit for himself. A lot of these New York Cuban batters could hit, and Crew is one of them. Marty Crew could hit. He's hit 267, so his batting target is 27. Didn't get any walks, so his on-base target is 27. Here's the pitch to Marty Crew. 72, there's going to be a fly ball to center field, and that will do it. Final score, the New York Yankees 11 and the New York Cubans 9. We'll be back to wrap this up. All right, in this game, the New York Yankees had 11 runs on 18 hits and 3 errors. The New York Cubans scored 9 runs on 14 hits, and they committed 1 error. The winning pitcher was Bobo Newsom, 3 innings pitched, 1 earned run. He was not in when the Yankees took the lead, but the other 2 that followed him were ineffective, pitching 1 inning, giving up 5 runs. So we'll give the scorer's decision. We'll give the win to Bobo Newsom. The loss goes to Barney Morris, 1/3 inning, and he allowed 3 runs for the Cubans. The star of today's game was third baseman Billy Johnson of the New York Yankees. A lot of people had a banner day for the Yankees, but Billy Johnson led the way with 4 hits in 6 at-bats, 2 singles, a triple, and homer, and 5 RBIs. Billy Johnson is the star of today's game. Now, tomorrow we'll be back with another game in the series between the New York Yankees and the Cubans. We'll make this best of 3 series. I'll wait to hear your comments. We might play Apba with the Apba-rated New York Cubans against the normal Apba team with the Yankees. Or we play another Deadball game, whichever y'all want, I'll be willing to do. So please put your comments at the bottom. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and God bless.